So today we're going to talk about if you're divorcing and one of you wants to keep the home and the other doesn't, how do you do that? What are you going to do in that situation? Let's get into that in this video. All right, what do we do if one of the parties wants to stay in the property and the other party wants to leave? First, you're assuming there's a mortgage on the property. If the property is owned outright, that's a whole nother story. But we're assuming here that a mortgage is owed on this property and one party wants to leave and they no longer want to be responsible. What is one option they can do? We talked about loan assumption in another video, so we'll click or link to that video in this video. But today, what we're going to talk about is called a buyout. What's a buyout? Well, a buyout is when one party chooses to buy out the other party's equity and equitable interest in the property. How do we do that? Well, that's a very specialized skill and it does require specialized training. And there are certified divorce lending professionals, just like there are certified divorce real estate professionals that are trained in that. But let's break down what a buyout is. Okay, let's use me as an example. We're splitting up and as an example, and I want to stay in the property and my spouse wants to leave the property. He no longer wants to be responsible for the mortgage. He's the one that's always been working. I'm the one that's always been staying home. So I don't yet have any income, but I may receive income after this marriage ends in the form of child support or alimony or some other assets in our division of the estate in our divorce. So that might be future income. In addition, maybe I've been working some side jobs, doing some things. Maybe I have an Etsy shop, so I have some income. It's just not as consistent. It's not a W-2 income. Well, this is why a lender has to count in your future income, not yet earned income, and your current income, which may be atypical income, and figure out, can you qualify to assume the mortgage? And in a way, I'm using that as a loosely word, but basically, can you qualify to buy out the spouse, give them their equitable interest in the property, and remain on the loan in a refinance situation? So this is truly refinance. We're not going to assume the loan. Don't want to confuse anybody there, but we are going to refinance the loan. And the party staying in the property is going to have to use their current income and whatever future income they may be entitled to in order to qualify to carry the new mortgage, which will be refinanced at, of course, current market interest rates. Now, that equity, most people, as you know, these days have equity in their homes. They've got homes that they've maybe even just bought 2 or 3 years ago, and they already have equity in them already. And that's a good thing. Now, that equity position, one of the party leaving may want to have a portion of that equity, which would be a cash situation. So the property person staying in the property is going to need to figure out a way to pay that equity in the divorce, in the form of cash usually. Sometimes it can be other assets. But this goes into the whole conversation with the certified divorce lending professional as well as the attorney on how you're going to structure this buyout. Now, most people think, oh gosh, man, I cannot afford it. You know, we got this house when our mortgage payment was $800, right? And now, oh my Lord, it would be $1,800. There's no way I can afford that. Well, you don't know until you talk to a certified divorce lending professional. So I encourage you to do that, and we'll definitely link to some of their sites, and you can read up about them here in Texas and find out how they can help you. And then, of course, if that doesn't work out, a last option would be selling the property. But if you can't find a way to refinance the property and do an equity buyout of the spouse remaining in the home, and then the spouse that leaves gets their equity buyout, that kind of solves that solution. And of course, the chain of title will be re-recorded and the property will be transferred from both parties to one party. If you'd like more information or you have more questions about this, please reach out to us. You can text, call, email, or of course, link to our social media below. Bye.